Hang on just a second, people. I want to make sure I turn everything off here that things don't go off while I'm working here. Hello, everybody. I'll be with you in just a second. Alright, that's good. And then we'll see if I can brighten up my screen a little bit more. There we go. I can see better. Very good. Hello, everybody. Hello, Jane. Hello, Ron. Al, Elizabeth. Everybody's popping in. That's good. Alright. We're going to be doing this guy here. Let me see if I can move these up a little further. There we go. That's what I want. Hello, Christine and Elizabeth. All right, so we're going to do the second one today. I'm going to start now because this is going to take a little while to do. It's not going to be as quick as the other. Hello, Wanda. Let me get one of my pieces here. Have my thumb guards on. So the first thing you do, and I did this ahead of time a little bit, is his feet are looking in the wrong direction. It should have been in the front. And in my haste, hello Jack and Jenny. In my haste, I ended up doing it to the side, so it looks like he's turned sideways. So we're going to have his feet facing forward this time around. And hello Donna. And we'll see how this goes. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to establish where it's the same as all the others. We have to figure out where the nose and the rest of his hat goes, and then we'll put the little buckle on the top. And so I kind of printed this out already a little bit. So I like it to come down a little bit, and I like a nice big nose on this side today. That's what we're going to do. So once you get that all figured out, and then down on either side, and then one in the back, and just follow it all the way through. And we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm going to grab a knife here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the top of his nose. Hello. Alright, so we're going to just pop this out a little bit. Alright, we're going to do each corner as we always do with everything we do, because we do everything from the corner. Alright, one in the back. And notice when I push with my thumb, okay? I don't usually push with my arm. If you're a beginner, you want to get used to pushing with your thumbs, not with your forearm or your hand. Your thumbs control a lot of the extra stuff. So we're going to go with the little V tool. I know I had it here somewhere. Hang on just a second. Where did it go? Alright, I misplaced it. Hang on, folks. Let me find a V tool around here. That's not it. Okay. I just sharpened it. Oh my goodness. Oh, here it is. Got it. Alright. I take off, the question was how much do I take off of these? Let me first say this is 3.5 inches tall by 1.5 by 1.5, and I take about 1/8 of an inch from about not quite halfway down, and I just take it down to meet like 1/8 of an inch on each side. Okay, that's all that takes. So here's my little V tool, and we're going to go ahead and follow that line from the hat. Going really slow here, so there we go. There's one. I'm going to follow this down this way. You always keep your hands out of the way in case you slip, but see how I rest my thumb on this? That's why you want to do that, because you won't slip or go too far if you slip. See, I just did that. See how far it went? It didn't go that much further. So technically you're using this part of your hand to push, and you're using your thumb to control it. And if you're not sure how to do that comfortably, just take a piece of wood and practice, you know. Alright, so that's the first part. Now, hello from Louisiana. Alright, so this is going to be our point at the top. Alright, so we're going to just start chopping away. And I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to scoop this out a little bit. There we go. And alright, and we're going to do, now remember this is the point. So this is the front, this is the point. So we're going to not do this corner yet. We're going to do the back side here. Just scoop it out. Or you can do it towards yourself. It's just as easy. Whichever. I like pushing it away from me. I find I have a lot of control. So I'm going to sweep this up a little bit. Same thing over here. This will be on YouTube later, so don't worry about if you missed anything. I always put it on YouTube, no matter what I do here. It usually goes onto YouTube. Now this is the point that we're saving. So I'm just going to go straight across, take off all that rough stuff. I'm going to cut this corner down a little bit more. Because I want it to look like it's sweeping to the right or to its left. Okay. And we're just going to bring this down. Again, scoop this out a little bit more. And alright, so right here we're going to scoop this out. Now this can be a little tricky, so I start from the bottom. I do a few little swipes and then I do from the top. Because you're going to have a place here where it's going to be a little difficult to do that. Let me push this up a little further. Alright. And I can just keep going until I'm happy with it. And just take your time, take little cuts. It's fine. And then I'm just going to scoop this out a little bit right here. And right here. Now you're scooping away from the point, not towards the point, because then you'll knock it off if you're not careful. So we just want a little bit of a point there. And again, I'm going to bring this down. If your knife is sharp, you should be able to go in any direction with the grain, within reason. You know, that's not always 100% foolproof, but if your knife is nice and sharp, you should have no problem going either way with it. If you have any questions, I'll try to catch them while you post them online. I only see 2 people at a time when it scrolls up. So if I miss it, you can ask again. Yes, John, it's 3.5 by 1.5 by 1.5 and an eighth of an inch on either side that we cut off from the top, that we taper it. Alright, so now I'm going to go back here and I'm just going to cut this in again a little bit more, all the way around. And I'm just going to sweep that out, just like so. These little critters are fun. I have an idea for Easter. I told you that on Sunday night when I showed you the critter box. If you didn't see the critter box, it is on YouTube. If you want to see how to store these and display them, that's a way I'm doing it here. You can buy those boxes at Michael's. I'm going to take this little tip off here. Alright. I'm going to do the same thing back here. We're just going to have like a, start digging down a little bit deeper. Alright. Same thing over here. We're going to cut this out a little bit more. I'm planning on having a couple of new different gouges and chisels. The flat skew and the flat head one. I'll be doing that probably this weekend or so. So I'm going to take all this rough stuff off here. May as well do that right now. Make it a little bit easier for later. And you kind of want to blend that all in. Alright, so we have the hat pretty well where we want it to be for now. Alright, the toughest part is going to do his feet, okay, that you see right there. Now he has little yellow socks and he has little black shoes with a little sole, with a little buckle on the top. Now, if you want to make a larger critter, all you have to do is make it a little bit taller, and the dimensions are always square, alright? You can make any size you'd like. There is no right or wrong way of doing it. Alright, so when we do the feet, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take each corner again and we're just going to sweep it up. Now we'll worry about the top a little bit later, but right now we're going to concentrate on the feet. Now this time I'm going to make sure I put it in the right direction. This direction, the front. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go around and we're going to cut it out again. Alright. Now you'll notice some sides are a little, when you cut this wood, sometimes there's a tougher area than another. I don't know why that is, it's just the way the wood is. But I do each corner like I always do. Alright. Now instead of using the V tool to match it, well, I probably could, but I'm not going to this time. The way I do it is I take my, if you don't have a V tool, this is how you do it. Alright. And you can do this with the hat or any other part. Just go straight across and then just slice it out to start. There's your beginning of it. Alright, so we'll do each side that way. Now if it doesn't free up, if it doesn't come loose right away, you just go back and you recut it. Alright, next week has yet to be determined. So I've done a project every week here for a few weeks in a row since January, so we'll see what I come up with. Alright, and just go back and recut. Now you notice there's a lot to cut out, so this will take a little bit of time. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is I want to determine where the feet are. See how I have them on a Y shape? So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil, and I'm just going to show you. Alright, what I do here is I kind of just give myself a diagram where I want the shoes to be. Alright, so and this will be like, you can put a line across the middle. Might be a good idea to do that. That will give you more of a reference. Like a big heart shape. And come down, around, and then you're going to just do a little heel in the, at the bottom here. Alright? So that's what we're looking at. We're not looking at this portion here. We're just imagining this being one section. Hello, Justin. Glad you can make it tonight. Alright, so we're going to trim a lot of that in the middle out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to continue bringing this down. So take a couple of swipes and then cut it. Now I'm going to knock a little bit of this corner off. Hello, Donna. Say hi to Henny for me. And to your mother-in-law, Ruli. That's alright, Jim. This will be on later on YouTube. So I'm going to keep bringing this down a little bit more. Alright, a little bit more. Oh, that's an idea, groundhog. Haven't done a groundhog before. I'll have to think on that one. Alright, so, alright, I'm going to stop there and I'm going to work on the sides a little bit. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit until we get to where that line is on the bottom. Same thing over here. We already have that nicked out. Alright, just like so. Alright, good. And the same thing over here. We're going to just start taking that out a little bit. And you always go to your reference at the bottom. Now, on the back here, oh, I forgot this one corner here. Let's do that. All right. I go straight in with my knife, and I just slowly cut it out. Now, you can do it with the V-tool, but then you'll dig up, and I want that a little more squared off at the bottom. All right. So I'm going to go on each side. I'm going to cut out a little bit more. You notice I move around a lot with this. I don't just work on one area. I kind of try to even it out by doing different sides here. And now normally I don't worry too much. Oh, that's a great idea. I will think that over. I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say here. When you do this, you notice I cut up a little bit on here, but when you're doing like the hat and stuff, you got to be really careful that your knife does not go up into it. You want to be careful of that. But with this, it's a little more forgiving. So you're just cutting it across here. All right. This side here. All right. Now we're going to try to figure out where the center is here. We're looking at the corner. We're going to go straight in. Okay. And I'm going to cut it at the top. I'm going to spray that a little bit. Where's the spray bottle? I'll be right back. I left it over here. Alright, I'm going to spray this a little bit on the bottom here. Just to help me soften it up a little bit. Okay. And a short little break here with my hot chocolate, which is actually still hot. Alright. So I'm going to try to cut it from either side, okay, and go back in here again and cut it from either side. And this, this takes a little bit of time to do this. The little ones are much faster, but I like the feet on them. It adds a little more dimension to them. Of course, I'm doing it in a rush situation here. Now I'm going to start going in a little bit. Okay, where did the video go here? Hello. Hang on. I'm sorry about that, it froze. I'll wait until some people come back again. Alright, I'm just going to keep going here. Alright, so we're just doing the feet here. Ah, there we go. Everybody's coming back. Sorry about that, folks. Don't know how to fix that when it goes offline like that. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm just trying to cut out the feet a little bit longer. Alright, so we're starting to get the shape of the feet. Remember, we made the diagram on the bottom here, so we're going to just bring this down and around. That looks pretty darn close. Alright. This blade here, I would say, is about 1 inch and maybe 1/8, if that. It's not very long. The longer the blade, the more you're going to have to choke up on it. So I don't like blades that are super long, unless I'm trying to get into an area that I really can't get into. Hello, Lori, again. I don't know why the feed froze up, but it did on the video section. So, all right. Now, this is his feet. Of course, he's looking in the wrong direction, but it's coming along all right. We're going to keep trimming up around the upper part where his socks are. All right. So I'm just going to keep going here to save time. There we go. That looks about right on that one. Let's trim this down a little bit. Now on the back side, notice we have that line that we put in before, and we have a little bit there to put in. So I'll make a couple of these smaller critters for St. Patty's Day. Okay, let's flip it back the other way. There we go, it's back. All right, sorry about that. All right, so in the back here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put that line, and we're going to do a big V cut with our knife. All right, there we go. And sometimes the feed works really well, and other weeks it doesn't. And so I'll add these two videos together for YouTube later. You'll notice there will be a little bit of a lag, but it works out pretty good. All right. And I'm going to round the back part of his foot off a little bit, and I'm going to get rid of this rough stuff here on the side. Same thing over here. Well, most of that's already off. Okay. Alright, I'm going to start rounding the bottom part of his shoes now that we have it all pretty well where I want it to be. Alright, we're going to, I think we go in a little bit in the back yet. See the difference? It's not quite in far enough. So, hello, Joe. I know I keep losing people. I don't know why, but sometimes the feed's not very strong, and I'm not sure why it does that from week to week. But some weeks it's fine, and don't know why it does that. Right, so I'm going to round off the bottom part of its shoes here, just a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to do this side as well. I'm going to put a little V cut there. And we're working on this guy right here, the Valentine critter. Alright, so right now, let me see how I'm going to do this. This has to come down a little bit more. This has to come down a little bit more. Alright, there we go. Now, I'm going to take my little V tool, and I think I can just barely make it in there, but I'm going to go around once. Now, if you want to put a line, you can. This will be his socks. I'm doing this really quickly, so, you know, I'm not looking at perfection right here. Alright, that's the top part, and then we'll go over here and do the other, go from the other side. It's a little hard to get in there. Alright. That's how you do the top of the socks there. And what I do is I kind of blend that in so it looks like it's going, the socks are kind of a little hanging over the shoes a little bit. Alright. Once you get that in there, you may want to round off your boot a little bit more. And I'll work on that a little bit later again. But then I also put the soles on the bottom of the feet. How that's done is you just take your V tool and you just go around the bottom part. See how it automatically puts the sole in there? Alright, and then you're going to go all the way around. Like so. If you want to order one of these, you're welcome to ask for one. Either the tall one. Alright, so that's his foot. Let me bring this up. Let me make this a little bit smaller here. It's more rounded, and then I bring this down a little bit all the way around. So the soles look like they're sticking out a little bit more. You get the idea. Hang on just a second. Let me do something back here. All right. Hang on, I'll be right back. It's not frozen. I'm just working back here. Sometimes I can't see it up there. All right. So once you get this done, all right, then you keep fussing with it a little bit more. Now I'm going to take this down a little bit further because that's not deep enough for me here. Okay, there we go. And I'll have to readjust that a little bit later. But to separate the feet a little bit more. And then the heels in the back. Get that. Oh, that's already cut out. There you go. The V tool is a very versatile tool. You can do a lot with it. You really can. It's a neat tool to have for this kind of work. Alright, so that's how you do the shoes, and then you put the little buckle on the top here. Now it takes a little while to separate the feet and the socks. But once you have that done and you clean that up a little bit, then you put the buckles on, and that's not real difficult. All you do is do a little square, like so. And let me see if I did the inside. Yeah, I did the inside of the square. as well. And you just cut it on the outside first. I'll just do one shoe to show you. And then you do the bottom part of the buckle. And then you do the side part of the buckle. And you just make it nice and round. Alright, and then I usually just take a little gouge to gouge out the center to make that square that you see. And then I paint that yellow with a little black dot in the center. If you just want to put a black dot, you can do that as well. Nobody says it has to be like that. Alright, so now we're going to go back to the top here. We're going to draw the nose on. So the nose comes out and around, and I like a nice big nose on these, like so. I go in pretty deep. I do the same thing over here. Alright, and right here in the corner you want to, okay? If you don't, it's going to, that makes that nose pop out really nice. Okay, see the difference in that? It does make a difference. Alright, here again I'm going to cut at the top of the nose here, and I'm just going to bring this in a little bit so it looks like it's underneath that hat a little bit more. Alright. And we're going to do the other side. Now when you cut in here, you're cutting, it's actually parallel to your corner. So you're going to be cutting it this way. You're not going to be cutting it this way, otherwise you'll be cutting into the nose. Alright, so I'm going to cut that top part out, and that should pop right out. Perfect. Very good. Now that's a little higher than that one, so we'll trim that one down a little bit more. And we'll round this nose off. Alright. Now that we have the nose in there, I'm going to keep going with, I'm going to switch knives a little bit here. There you go. And this is the Murphy knife I'm using right now. Sorry folks that I sometimes have a problem with the feed. I don't know if I'm too far away from where my internet access is or not. I'm not sure. But I'll try to figure out why it's doing that. So that's where we're at with this right now. Okay, so what we need to do next is to put that little belt thing on the top of his little hood there. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit more. And you just want to be careful here. You don't want to knock that point off. These critters are a little fun, are fun to do, I will say that. Alright, so let's get our pencil. So the first thing I do is I put the buckle on the top here. So I try to figure out exactly where that buckle's going to go, and I go straight across. And try to make a nice square at the top. Then I put another little square in the center. Alright, and then I go up a little bit. Not right at the corner, but I go up a little bit, and then I just kind of bring this down and around. Let's see where it ends up. Let me bring this one down on this corner so I can kind of match it up at the back here. There we go. Alright, and then we're going to come down from the corner again a little bit. And I'm going to go up a little higher. There we go. And we're going to make a parallel line to what we have before. let me take a look at this. Okay, that looks all right. So what I do is I take the V-tool. That's the handiest one. And so I do the one on the top of the line. I do it at the bottom of the line. And I square that out first. Well, that square in the middle is not right, so we'll fix that. Alright, let me look at this back here. Yeah, let me take that off a little bit. I'll worry about that later. So now I'm going to follow that line. I'm going to do another V-cut. It's actually going to be 50 degrees here tomorrow. That's going to be something. After all this cold weather, I don't think I've plowed as much this year as I have in the last 3 or 4 years combined. Usually we get one or two good snowstorms, but all right. So that's, now if you want to make this come out a lot better, you can just do one line across and just kind of cut it out and flush it to the hat. All right. Okay, and here too. You can just kind of even that out with the hat. Just go up, kind of mark it out a little bit. And that way, you're ready to do your next section. So all this is you bring it up towards the hat first. All right, 1, 2, and then you take your line across. Do one line at a time, okay? And then follow the other one parallel to it. It's easier that way. And try to keep the same depth all the way around if you can. There we go, right up to the hat. And I did the same thing over here, towards the hat, towards the buckle, turn it around, and go the other way. Soon I'll be doing Santas again. It's never too early to do Santas. Ever too early to do Santas. Especially if you can't start this stuff in November and get it done. Alright. So you notice we want it to look like it's tucked underneath. So the first thing we do is we take our knife and we just slowly trim it up to that line. Now if that doesn't come out right away, I'll just cut it real quick with the point of the blade. I can go back up. Just take your time. Or you can go sideways too. That might work a little better for some people. Alright. This will cut out. Yep, there we go. And you want to be very careful there at the corner. Alright, and the same thing with the top. Alright, you want to go all the way around and kind of even that out. So it gives it the illusion that the belt is on the outside. Okay, not that it's flat with the hat. Whoops, stand up, buddy. There you go. And you can take your time with this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I'd like to get to the rest of it so I can finish up the video for you guys. So that's how and then you can scoop this out in the center a little bit. Just go one direction first and then flip it over and go the other direction, just very carefully. So that buckle looks like it's sticking out a little bit more. Alright, I'm going to trim off his beard a little bit more. Now, we're not done here yet. I forgot about the flower thing here. So what I do is I do one like so, like an upside down heart. One like so. Alright, or you can go out a little further, it's okay. Yeah, this is the way I do it. And then come out and do an upside down heart. Alright, and then I do a little bit of a, and then I'm going to put two little marks there because his little hands are going to be holding it, as you can see there. Okay, so the first thing I do is I cut the very top out. So what I do is I bring this down just a little bit. I put my lines back on. Alright, so I'm going to just take my little V tool and I'm just going to cut out a little bit right there at the corner. That'll get me started here. Actually, I'm going to follow that whole thing with the V tool and then we'll clean it up. Alright, so we're just going to, notice I'm moving my piece more than my hand. My carving's more than my hand. And then I bring it down and around that way. Bring it up this way. All the way across. Perfect. Alright, and the same thing here. We're going to go here. We're going to follow this all the way out and around. Then I'll go back and make it deeper with the knife. This gives me a nice way of giving me a guideline. Alright, so what we're going to do is right here, we're going to do two little stripes there. And one little stripe there. Alright. So now, hi Cindy. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to recut it with my knife. This gets a little bit tedious, but it does work. So take that out. I'm going to file this out a little bit so that little four-leaf clover sticks out a little bit more. I'm going to bring this all the way down. Alright. Let me take this back here for a second. You didn't lose the feed. I'm just back here working on it. I lost the feed earlier this evening. It was a little frustrating. I don't know how to get that feed to start again if it doesn't come back on. And then let me come right back here. Alright, so cut that out a little further. There we go. Cut that a little bit more. There we go. Alright, that gives us an idea. Alright, and then right here we're going to cut this out as well because this goes underneath. Set him up right again. And we're going to just bring this underneath here. This is the hardest part to the whole thing other than the feet. Alright, so I'm going to try to blend all this in. And I'm going to round this off for the body on each corner. falling over. I'm just going to let them lay there for a bit. I don't know how you people are with tax time, but it's frustrating for me. I use an old program. My accountant said, well, just use QuickBooks. He said, it's really simple. I took it a few years ago, had it for about a month, and returned it. Got my $180 back. And I felt like saying to him, yeah, carving's easy. Just pick up a knife. You'll be fine. You know, unless you know how to do it, it's not simple. And but once you know how to do it, it can be it can be very easy to do. So people are funny. You know, if you do this every day, it's very simple. If you don't, it looks very complicated. So practice makes perfect. I'm just cleaning this all up before we start putting his beard in. Okay, that's all out there. Now right here, we're going to cut this out, and we're just going to put a little gouge right there, and we're going to just bring this down a little bit. It looks like it's underneath. All right. Same thing over here. We're just going to notch that out. Now to do the fingers here, folks, all I do is do a little notch right there. If it will come out, it would be nice. Okay. And I round off the fingers a little bit. And that's it. That's all I do for the fingers. Now you can go all the way across. I think I almost go all the way across on those. But, yeah. One has 2 fingers holding it, and the other one has 3, I think. Depends how you do it. So over here we're going to put 3. Let me just, so right here you're going to put a little notch. A little notch here. It looks like 3 little fingers. All right. That's all you got to do. Put a few little notches in there. And we're going to bring this up. Yeah, it says in my accountant, yes, it's easy if you know exactly what you're doing. If you don't, it's so frustrating. So I went back to my old system that I've been using for 20 years on the computer. I told somebody I actually have computers saved just for my accounting because I don't want to. Oh, there we go. If I flip it back and forth, it seems to work again. At least I found a way to fix it. All right, so this we're going to go in a little bit deeper. In the back, we're going to round this off. All right, so that's how you do the little flower, the little 4-leaf clover here. Now I'm going to kind of go around. Now here, what I do is I just take my little V-cut here and just go in each way. All right, that's pretty well it. There's the 4-leaf clover. All right, now to put the now to put this in, you have to take all this rough stuff off. So let's do that real quick. And you smooth it out wherever you feel you need a little bit more smoother. You go ahead and I like it a little bit more tucked underneath the nose there. It makes the nose pop out a little bit better. And right here, I'm going to make that a little bit deeper right there. Bring this up. All right, good. I think now back here, we've got a couple things here to clean off yet. Yep. Hello, Freeze. How you doing? Long time no chat. Like I said, it's supposed to be up to 50 tomorrow up here. Close to 50. It's melt all that snow we got. All right. Now, how do you put in the beard? Not too difficult. I take my little V tool and I usually work towards the nose first. Okay? And work from there out. Alright? And then, you know, kind of just keep going down. And then I turn it around and I work towards the bottom. I work all the way around the body because there's nothing else but the hair, the beard, to my critters. As you can see, it goes all the way. Then I use a burnt sienna for the beard, and I use, of course, black, some golden yellow for the yellow, and then I also use some, now you need to crisscross a little bit too. That makes it look a little better. Okay, let me round that off a little bit more right here. And just a green. I like a little darker green than a bright green. There's all different shades of green, as you know. And I use acrylic, and then I use my mineral oil mixed with burnt umber for the final coat. And that gives it a little bit of a sheen. That will go away after some time. Whoops. After some time, but, you know. So let's keep going with the front here. See, that rough stuff's got to come off of there, so I'll just cut that out. This will be on YouTube later, so if you missed anything, everything will be together. You want to be careful that you don't knock anything out with your little 4-leaf clover there. Next week is to be determined yet. Maybe I'll take a week off. I don't know yet. But I'll post it if I'm going to have a class. I'm pretty sure I will. Have to look and see what I don't have on tape yet that I've carved in the past and stuff. So, all right, folks. Now, right there, hang on just a second. Let me just clean this up a little bit here. Okay, his fingers are not the best on the one side, much better on the other. All right, folks, and that's pretty well it for tonight. I think it needs some cleanup, which I'll do when I get offline here before I paint him again. But there's our little guy now. He's facing the right way this time. He wasn't, he was, I had the feet in the wrong direction when I was in my hurry with that, but that's what it looks like, okay? Thank you, Joyce. How's the neighborhood? LOL. Anyway, take care, and we'll catch you next week, and I'll definitely put it down. I mean, I'll make a event out of it, so you'll see it on Facebook. All right, folks, God bless, take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.